In the previous class we have seen like what are the implicit objects available in the JSP, what are implicit objects, and what is the life cycle of the JSP. Okay, what are the different phases in the life cycle, and what happens in each phase of the life cycle of the JSP page, and how a JSP page changes are automatically reloaded just on a browser refresh. Okay, and we have even discussed the life cycle of the JSP page, which contains translation, compilation, loading, and execution. Okay, and even we have discussed that we have 4 types of scripting elements. In JSP page, we call them as scripting elements or scripting components, or building elements or building components, or components or elements, whatever we call. There are 4 types of scripting elements in JSP. One is scriptlets, declarations, directives, expressions. These are the 4 types of scripting elements or scripting components that exist in a JSP page. These are the 4 types of scripting elements or scripting components that exist in JSP page. Okay. The first type of scripting component is scriptlets. Okay. If you write some content in a scriptlet. A scriptlet is less than percentage and percentage greater than. Okay. Within this block, if we write any content, then it is said to be a scriptlet. Okay. Now, whatever the content that we write in a scriptlet, that will automatically go to _JSP service method. Okay. It will not be manipulated at all. Directly it will be copied and pasted into _JSP service method. If you see, Tomcat, work, Catalina, localhost, hello app, okay. If you see the scriptlet content, hello, this is from JSP's second scriptlet. Okay. If you see the JSP page, hello, this is JSP. This is from JSP second scriptlet. Okay. The scriptlet content will be as it is pasted in _JSP service method. And there is no limit for number of scriptlets that exist in JSP page. We can write any number of scriptlets, and in scriptlet we write some executable logic. Some executable Java logic will be written in scriptlets. Executable Java logic will be written in scriptlets. Understood? And the content of scriptlets will be automatically, or it will be as it is copied and pasted into _JSP service method. Okay? That's what we have discussed yesterday. Now, let me discuss about the second portion, that is declarations. declaration. This I have just in the declaration portion. I have declared one variable and I am using that in the scriptlet. Okay, just this is the declaration portion of the JSP page. Just percentage not same close it. Percentage not, and let us see the generated select code how it will be. Okay, let me try to access this JSP page. Select config. Sorry, let me remove this mail. Okay, it's correctly compiled. Sorry, something is missing here. Okay, now this is properly arranged. Okay, and if you see the console, the value of I is 10. Okay, it's properly printed. Okay, and if you see the generated select code, now where the declaration related elements are located in the generated select, in which portion of the select the declaratives exist or the declarations exist, in which portion of the select declarations exist. in which portion of the servlet declaration exists? I'm asking, in which portion of the servlet the content related to declarations exist? In the class. In the class block of the generated servlet. See, this is the class. In this class, after opening brace, this is printed. Now, can I tell that I is an attribute of this class? Yes. In the class block, okay, the declaration related content will be as it is copied and pasted in the class block. Okay. The declaration content will be as it is copied and pasted into the class block. It is something like a global content. Declaration portion is something like a global content. So, it is as it is copied and pasted in the class block. Of the generated servlet class. The declaration content will be automatically and as it is copied and pasted into the class block of the generated servlet. Declaration content will be as it is copied and pasted into class block of the generated servlet. Okay. So now, if I write like this, now is it a valid statement now? Is it a valid statement? No? Why it is not a valid statement? Outside? Outside a method? Can't I use system outward println outside method? Is it a rule that we should use system outward println only in a method? Huh? Why we can't write that? Why we cannot write system.out.println in the declaration? Yeah. What happens if it directly goes to the class? What happens if it directly goes to the class? See, if we try to refresh the browser, it's telling that there is some error. If you see the content, system.out.println is directly pasted in the class block, but the class block should not contain any executable code. That's the basic rule of any object-oriented programming. Entity or a class block should not contain any executable code. Just because class is not an executable block, methods, constructors and initialization blocks Only these three elements are executable blocks. But a class is not at all an executable block. So we should not put any executable statements in the class block. That we have discussed in the very first classes itself. Class is not an executable block. For that reason, we should not put any executable statements in the class block. And system.out.println is a executable statement. So, since the content of declarations will come to the class block, we should not write any executable code inside the declaration. We should not write any executable code in the declaration. So, let me write like this. Okay, and let me call that from the scriptlet. Now, is it valid? Is it valid to declare a method inside the expression? Inside the declaration portion? Just think logically. Where it will go? In that place, is it a valid declaration? Think logically. Where this content will be available in the generated servlet class, and at that place, is that content valid? Just try to write a simple servlet class in your notes, a simple generated servlet class, and try to map these statements into that class where that statements will be generated, so that you can understand better. Try to write a simple generated servlet class in your notes and try to map these scripting elements in your generated servlet class. You can understand it better. I'll give you 1 minute. Just try to analyze it. Now try to write a simple servlet class, generated servlet class, which contains all these scripting elements. Now let me comment out this. Let me try to remove this. Are you writing this JSP page? Huh? Why? What I have told to write? Are you writing a select class or are you noting down this JSP page? Select class? Then what you came to know? Is it a valid thing? Is it valid to write this content in declaration and this content in scriptlet? Understood my question? See, I have written some content in declaration. Is that content valid in declaration? I have written some content in scriptlet. Is that content valid in scriptlet? Try to analyze that by writing a sample generated servlet code in your notes. That's what I told you. Now, did you write that? Now, do you think that it is valid? Why? Private methods? Cannot be? See, leave about the private method. Leave about private. Okay? Except private, is there any problem? Even private is not the problem here. Except private, do you think, is there any other problem? No. See, private methods, their scope is within the class block. Now, the scriptlet portion and the declaration, will it go to the same class or different class? Then why private will become a problem? Content? Whatever it is. See, JSP container will not call test method. JSP container will automatically copy and paste that content. JSP container will copy and paste that content into declaration. Will copy and paste this content into underscore JSP service. And why do you think the JSP container will call test method? Understood my point? Test method execution will be like any Java method. JSP container will not execute any methods. Okay? The container or the server, the web server that we are discussing, will just translate this code into servlet code. That's it. It will not execute. Execution will be normal Java execution itself. Execution of this test method will be like a Java method itself. Don't be confused with that. Okay? Execution of Java code will not be considered separate for JSP. Okay? It will be same if you go for JSP or servlets or wherever it is. Execution of Java code will be the same. It will not change. Okay? Now, what do you think? What do you guys think? What do you other guys think? Is it a valid content? See? Now, let me have some test generated servlet class. Let's consider like the generated servlet class is hello underscore JSP. Okay? In the class block, okay, Okay, now this is my class which has 3 methods underscore JSP init, okay, and underscore JSP destroy, and underscore JSP service. Okay, and where the content of declaration will go? The content of declaration will go, okay, into the class block. So this content will be automatically copied and pasted into the class block. Now, is this content valid in the class block? Is this content valid in the class block? Yes. The method declaration and attribute declaration are valid in the class block. Again, inside underscore JSP service method, the scriptlet content will be passed. So, now, is this content valid in underscore JSP service method? Is this content valid? Is this content valid in underscore JSP service method? Is this content valid in underscore JSP service method? Yes or no? What's your answer? Why are you confused? Are you confused or are you not getting anything? Why you are not clear? Huh? Huh?
I have studied. I have not studied.
Okay. Then what we can do? You should be regular, Sharath. Otherwise, we can do nothing. So, whatever the content in the scriptlets, okay, or the HTML code of the JSP, okay, that will be automatically copied and pasted into underscore JSP service method. It will be like a normal method. Now, can we call a private method from this underscore JSP service? Can we call a private method from a method of the same class? Can we call a private method from the method of the same class? Yes, that is possible. So this content and this content are also possible. Now, can we access a attribute, a non-static attribute from the non-static method of the same class? Yes. So, we can access a non-static attribute from the non-static method of the same class. It's possible. At the same time, we can call a non-static private method from a method of the same class. It's possible. Understood? Understood? So, this is a possible content in the JSP page. Let me refresh that. And if you see here, value of I is 10 and the test method is execute. Understood? And if you see the generator select code, it's the same that we have. Okay? Int I equal to 0, attribute test, which is a method, and that method is being executed from underscore JSP service method. Understood? what we have done? Understood? What, Sharat? Okay, just this test method is being called from underscore JSP service method, and this test method is a private method inside the same select class. So mainly declaration portion is used to declare the elements in the generated select class, like attributes, methods, initialization blocks and all. Okay. If you want to declare elements in the generated select class, like attributes, methods and initialization blocks, we use the declaration portion of the JSP. If you want to declare attributes or methods or initialization blocks or even constructors, inside the generated select class, then we go for declaration. And whatever the content that exists in declaration portion, that will be automatically copied and pasted into the class block of the generated select. That will be automatically copied and pasted into the class block of the generated select. What is your, do you get a clarity? Why private is not a restriction here? So that's what declaration is. Okay. And the third one is directives. Directives are used to give some directions to the JSP page. And before going to directives, let me change this like this. Now, is it valid? First we are calling the method, then we are declaring the method. Just see whether it is valid or not. Understood the difference? Earlier, first we declared I and we have used I. First we declared test and we have used test. But now, first we are using test and then we are writing the declaration. Is this valid or not? Do you think it is valid? Yes. How? Class portion. Since automatically the content of declarations will be pasted into the class portion, wherever the declaration exists, the content of declaration will go to the class portion itself. Whether it is before the scriptlet or after the scriptlet or in between the scriptlets, it doesn't matter. Okay? Wherever the declaration portion is, the content of declaration portion will be copied and pasted into the class block. So the class block members after translation, let me see. Let me try to refresh this browser. So even though the content of the declaration is after the scriptlet, we see here, it will go to the same portion, class block. So the portion where the declaration will go will not change. The same class block, the declaration content will be pasted in the same class block. So if it is in the class block, wherever it is declared in the JSP page, it doesn't matter. Okay? So wherever the declaration are there, whatever the number of declarations are there, the whole content of declaration will go to the class block. Okay? See, if we see here, let me write a declaration. That's what I'm telling. We can write. Let me write a declaration with int I equal to 0. Okay? I'm writing another declaration with the test method. There can be any number of declarations. Okay? There can be any number of declarations, but the whole declaration content will go to the class block itself. Understood? There can be any number of declarations, but the content of all the declarations in the JSP page will go to the class block itself. See, this is the content of first declaration and this is the content of second declaration. Everything is going to the class block itself. Understood? So, just we told that the directives will give some directions to the JSP page. If there are several things that we can, or there are several actions that we can perform using a directive. Okay, we'll discuss them one by one, but directives are very important. Okay, and there are three possible directives in the JSP page. There are three possible directives in the JSP page. Okay. One is include directive. Include directive. The second is page directive. Third one is taglib directive. There are three directives in the JSP page: include, page, and taglib. We'll discuss what is a directive and about all these three directives. Okay. Just want to write a directive. Just the symbol will be like this. Directive symbol will be at the rate. Okay. At the rate. This is a directive. Okay. So now the first directive is include directive. Why include directive is used? Okay. Why include directive is used means the include directive is used to include the content of other HTML or JSP page. It is used to include the content of other HTML or JSP page. Include directive is used to include the content of other HTML or JSP page. Okay, just go for directive include with the option file. Let me write some content which is another .jsp. Okay. So inside another .jsp, let me write the same content, same kind of content. The body portion. Alright, let me write it in the scriptlet. Include from another. Like this, I have written some kind of content. Okay, in the another .jsp, and I am including this second JSP in the first JSP. Okay, let me see what include will do. Okay, let me see what include will do in the response of the browser, as well as how it will happen in the generated select. Okay, just I have developed another .jsp and I have included that another .jsp inside hello.jsp through the include directive. Include file equal to the JSP. Okay, let me try to refresh this. So this content, hello, this is from another page, is printed automatically. Okay, and if you see the generator select code, these are the dependents. Okay, another .jsp, and if you see the generated code, the scripted content is automatically copied and pasted into _JSP service. Understood? Now, at which phase the second JSP is included in the first JSP? We have 4 stages in the life cycle of JSP: translation, compilation, loading, execution. At which step the second JSP content is linked to the first JSP content? Already told that there are 4 stages in the JSP life cycle: translation, compilation, loading and execution. Okay? At which step the second JSP content is included in the first JSP? At which step do you think? Loading? Why do you think it is loading, or why do you think it is translation? First let me ask you. Why do you think it is loading? Static? Where is it? Did I declare any static block here? Do you know what is a static block? Static block is something like this. Did I declare this in any? Did I declare a static block like this at any place in the JSP page? No. Then why did you use the term static block? Then why do you think it is the translation? Just tell Sharat. Why do you think it is?
Translation phase only the server will be written. So at that time, this moving was included in the server. So it will happen in the translation.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Do you think the same? Okay. Since the generated servlet code contains even the second servlet content, okay, or generated servlet code contains the scriptlet of the second JSP page or the scriptlet of the included JSP page. When the content is translated into the generated servlet means in the translation phase. So in the translation phase itself, okay, because of the include directive or through include directive, if you include any JSP page, that will come or that will be included, okay, in the first JSP page or in the parent JSP page, okay, through the in the phase of translation itself. Okay, how we can come to know means just in the translation phase itself. In the translation phase itself, the content of the scriptlet will be pasted into the _JSP service method. And if the content of the second JSP is available in the generated servlet, the content of second JSP or if the content of child JSP is available, let's consider like hello.jsp is a parent and we are including another .jsp which is a child. If the content of the child JSP is available in the generated servlet code of the parent, then what does it mean? It is done in the translation phase itself. Understood? Understood or not? Yes or no? Okay? just because the content of the second child JSP page is available in the generated servlet code. Okay, since the generated servlet code contains the content of the child JSP, okay, when the content of a JSP is included in the generated servlet code means in the translation phase itself. Okay, since the content, this highlighted content is the content of the child JSP that we are including in the parent JSP. Since this content is included even in the generated servlet code, that means this inclusion happens, okay, in the translation phase itself. Just because the generated servlet code contains even the child JSP content. How we can come to know? The include directive will include the child JSP page in the translation phase itself means the generated servlet code. If you observe the generated servlet code even contains the content of the child JSP. The generated servlet code even contains the content of the child JSP. So, if you see the highlighted content here, this highlighted content is from the child JSP, another .jsp. The parent JSP is hello.jsp, in which we are including another .jsp. Okay, like that. So, if we go for include directive to include one JSP page in another JSP page, before translation itself, at the time of translation itself, okay, the child JSP page content will be included in the parent JSP. Understood? If we include a JSP page, using the directive include, using a directive include, at the time of translation itself, the child JSP content will be included in the parent JSP content. At the time of translation itself, the child JSP content will be included in the parent JSP. Now, I declared an attribute pi and I am using that in the child JSP. Let me use that in the child JSP. Understood what I had done? I had declared a attribute in the declaration portion of the parent JSP and I am using that in the scriptlet of the child JSP. Understood what I have done? I am declaring an attribute in the declaration portion of the parent and I am using that attribute in the scriptlet portion of the child. Now, is it a valid thing? Yes or no? Definitely yes. Just because either it is in the parent or child, the resultant content will go to the same place. Since the child is included in the parent, since another .jsp is included in hello.jsp, whether the content is there in hello.jsp or whether the content is there in another .jsp, they will go to the same place. Okay, so the attributes declared in another.jsp can be used in parent. The attributes declared in parent can be used in child, or child can be used in parent. It's possible if you go for directive entry. Just because they will go to the same servlet and the same place. Understood? Understood? Just because the content of the parent and child JSP will go to the same place. If it is scriptlet, it will go to the same JSP service. If it is declaration, it will go to the same class portion. So, if you see, by refreshing the browser is refreshed. So, included from another page, the value is 3.14, which is available. And if you see the generated servlet code contains attribute pi, which is whose value is 3.14, and in the _JSP service method, the content is printed. So, attribute will be available to _JSP service method, which is a valid case. Understood? Understood? So, now let me declare something here. Okay, what is this? Is it declaration or a scriptlet, or what is it? Declaration. Okay, so I have declared something here and I am using it here. Before including this page, just I am printing the value of country. Understood what I have done? Just in another JSP page, in the declaration I have declared a variable country. I am using the same in the parent scriptlet, which is the first scriptlet. After writing the scriptlet, I am including the JSP page. Now, is it a valid content? Can I do like this? Or can I access country here or not? Understood? First, I have declared an attribute, the declaration portion of the child, whose name is country. Okay? And then, first I have written a scriptlet where I am using country. Okay? And then I am including the JSP page. Now, is that declared attribute country available in the scriptlet? Here. Don't ask me, just write a sample servlet class. Okay? Take a minute, write a sample servlet class. Just try to get where this content is pasted, and you can come to know. And see another JSP, it doesn't contain anything. Just let me even in this content. Okay. First write the content of another .jsp. So that we need not to navigate from one page to another page. Write down this content, the highlighted content. This is the content of another .jsp. Let us see. Okay, where this content will go? Where the content of this child JSP will go? The scriptlet portion will go to underscore JSP service. Declaration portion will go to class block. Did you write the generator select code with this content? Yes. Then write the selected generator select content select code with this content. Where this will go? And the remaining also. Just try to have a replica of the generator select code in your notes so that you can understand it better, how it is, whether it will be acceptable or not. What, Narvadi? Are you getting what I am telling? Then what are you doing? Others are doing something, then what are you doing? Oh, did you write that? Intention is you need to understand the whole concept. It will be a better practice if you do this. Is it over? Then, do you think that it is valid? Yes or no? What, Sharat? Why it is not valid? Test? Yes. Test doesn't exist in it. Test doesn't exist in the but it exists right in the declaration portion. Test method exists in the declaration, right? So it will go to class block. This is not executable code. Calling test method, this is the executable code. This is the declaration of a method. This is declaration. It's not execution, this is declaration. Declaration of a method can be there in the class block. but execution of that method should not exist in the class method. Now, do you think it is valid? Yes. Just because in the generated servlet code, first we take underscore JSP service method. In underscore JSP service method, first system.out.println country will be there. Okay. So first system.out.println country will be there. Okay. And then what we do? This will go to which portion? Declaration portion, that is the class portion. So JSP compilation will be started once the translation is completed. Okay, then only the JSP compilation is started. JSP compilation will be started only when the translation phase is completed. Okay, so that's what happens. Now, again, in the third statement, what we are doing? We are including the JSP page. Now, it will go to another .jsp. It will try to translate even this another .jsp into the same servlet.java. Okay. Now, in another .jsp, we have order.println, which is there in the scripted portion. Okay. This content will be pasted in the scripted portion. So, first the whole translation will happen. Then only compilation will happen. Okay, understood? Now, even in another JSP, we have a declaration. We have a declaration which will go to the class block of the generated servlet. So, it will go to the class block of the generated servlet. Okay, again another JSP is completed. Okay, again it will come back to the JSP page and will execute this scriptlet. Since it is a scriptlet, the content will go to generated servlet class underscore JSP service method. Okay, understood? And what is the next thing? It is a declaration. Okay, since it is a declaration, the content will go to class block. Already test methods. Huh? No, it will not be like that. Just it will be in a sequential order, right? First this content is executed, then this content is executed, then JSP page is tried to be included. So it will try to pick up the whole content from this JSP page and we will try to translate that into the same parent servlet.java. You see here, is servlet.java file generated or is the backend servlet generated for the child JSP? No. Backend servlet is not generated for the child JSP. It's only for the parent JSP, and even the child JSP content is included in the translation phase itself, in the parent JSP, in the parent servlet. Understood? So, understood how it will be? Now, do you think it is a valid? Do you think the compilation, there will be a, do you think that there is any compilation here? Or, sorry, do you think that there is a compilation error here? No, everything is fine. See, let me go for first statement. I am accessing country. Now, is country available? Is country available? Yes. Now outward println is 1. Now I'm accessing pi. Is pi available? Yes. Now I'm accessing test method. Is test method available? Yes. Now I'm accessing outward println. So you should not, in a page include directive, okay, in include directive you should not check those two JSP pages as separate JSP pages. You should consider parent JSP page and child JSP page as the same, as a single entity. You should consider parent and child JSP page as a single entity, just because in the translation phase itself, the child JSP page content will be included in the parent JSP. So compilation will be started only after translation is completed. First try to translate them into a single select class, then only start compilation. Understood? So it will be valid. Where semicolon missing? That's what I'm looking. Where is JSP? Here semicolon is missing. So it's working fine. Okay, even if you see the console, yes, the values are printed. India 3.14 and test. Understood? But Darpadi, did you get what I'm telling? Huh? Yes or no? So, if you see the generated select class is the same that we have discussed. Okay? Even the child JSP content is printed in the generated select class. Okay? And if you see here, this is the same that we discussed. Okay? Pi from parent and content from child. Both are as it is printed in the declaration portion. Understood? So, if you try to include one JSP page into other JSP page using include directive, we should not consider those two JSP pages as independent. We should consider in such a way that both the JSP page's content will go to the same place, and then only we should start compiling them. Okay? And this include directive, if we include a JSP page into another using include directive, then that inclusion process is called as static inclusion. Okay? If we include one JSP page into another JSP page using include directive, if we include one JSP page into another JSP page using include directive, then that inclusion is said to be a static inclusion. That inclusion is said to be a static inclusion. Just because any action that is performed at the time of compilation or before compilation, it is called as static action. Any action that is performed before or at the time of compilation is said to be a static action. Any action that is performed before or at the time of compilation is said to be a static action.